Throughout the 2012 season, we were granted exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the TT Legends racing team as they took on some of the toughest bike races in the world. For 7 races, from Suzuka in Japan to Oschersleben in Germany, from Le Mans to the legendary Isle of Man, we followed these ordinary men doing extraordinary things. John Mcginnis is the Morecambe missile, ex-bricklayer and muscle picker. He's won the Isle of Man TT 18 times. Simon Andrews is the fearless young gun and a proven winner who's fighting back from a serious injury. And Cameron Donald, Australia's fastest plumber and 2-time winner of the Isle of Man. Together, they are the TT Legends. It's race week at the Isle of Man TT, and in the first race, John claimed his 18th TT win, with Cameron a close second. But Simon wasn't so lucky. He hit the mountain at 143 miles an hour and is now recovering in the Isle of Man hospital.
Yeah, I crashed, but you know, how many people crash around here and don't get away with it?
There are 5 more races to go. Will John grab win number 19, or will Cameron secure his 3rd victory on the legendary course?
And the first time you come to the TT and you go somewhere, whether it be Quarterbridge, whether it be Hilbury, whether it be up on the mountain, you just experience something completely different to what you've ever seen before.
It is the most exhilarating circuit you could ever ride at, and I raced in Grand Prix and British Championships and World Superbikes.
It's the pinnacle of racing, you know, and to win here you've done something big.
It takes a different type of person to ride here. It takes different skills to ride here, and I'm old school, and this is what it's about for me.
Where else can you get a buzz? You can't get a buzz anywhere else in the world like you can around here. Well, I've not found it yet, so I'm going to keep looking.
You've only got to look around how busy this place is, and in my own mind it is the biggest event in racing.
An update through on Simon Andrews. The news on Simon is that the brakes to the wrist and the ankle are clean, they are on the mend, and he's wearing a cast in the Honda TT Legends colours.
Motorbike fans from across the world make their yearly pilgrimage to this small island in the Irish Sea for an experience unlike anything else in the world.
Last night, the team worked hard to build me a big screen. Spent hours building a big screen. The first 5 miles was a big hole straight through the middle of it. So that was the end of that screen. So they're going to have to build another one. But
Cameron had 2, maybe 3 holes in his radiator.
Did he?
Yeah.
The stones at the northwest are like little ones. Here they're like building bricks. They come flying at you. That one hit me on the arm somewhere on the mountain. I was like, sheesh, just wanted to stop and rub it better, but you can't because you're on the bike.
After the rain and fog have lifted, it's time to get down to business. Cameron's looking relaxed, but John's race preparations aren't going to plan.
I think he had 2 left gloves for some strange reason. And a bit of a shake of the head there. They've got his gloves here now, so quick change on the gloves, I think, for John Mcginnis, but he did come here with 2 left gloves, which is not very good.
I've raced here for 16 years and I did a complete schoolboy error mistake bringing 2 left gloves up.
Charlie, over to you for the start of the race.
Well, talk about brinkmanship. I've heard of footballers with 2 left feet. I was one of them, but there is John Mcginnis with those gloves safely on. And there goes John Mcginnis away under the footbridge.
We got on the grid and we had 2 right gloves instead of 1 right, 1 left, so it was a bit of a stress situation. But we got there in the end.
Next off is number 4, Cameron Donald. 2nd place on Saturday for Cameron. And now last year's winner, here comes Bruce. Cameron Donald in third place ahead of Gary Johnson now. Gary Johnson in fourth, Bruce.
Michael Dunlop, who still leads. Well, we thought it was going to be close, but we didn't realise how close.
John 5, but here's Cameron Donald. Cameron lying in second place on corrected time at 125.088. That's 18 minutes 5.86.
Getting the first one done and out of the way helps a little bit, but always nervous, always nervous. It's a shorter race too, so rather than saying I'll see you in 6 laps, we say see you in 4 laps.
For family and friends watching in the stands, this is an anxious time. Cameron's girlfriend Kaz has her own routine.
What I've been doing is I've been making him a Nutella and banana sandwich every time he goes out, and it's worked well enough so far.
John Mcginnis is away. That is Cameron away now. Cameron's away, crosses that white line.
This race is far from done and dusted. Who's going to be
just
the winner?
hearing that Michael Dunlop has retired at Belig Bridge.
Gary Johnson leading Bruce Anstey at the bungalow.
Very moment to catch our breath.
Gary Johnson is the leader, but only by a quarter of a second.
Here's Mcginnis now. If anybody drops out in front of him, could be on for a podium finish.
But here comes Cameron Donald, and there's Ryan Farquhar right behind him. Cameron Donald, number 4, looking very determined indeed.
The leader's being held by Bruce Anstey.
Gary Johnson is now 6 seconds down, so clearly some difficulties for Gary. Anstey is increasing his lead over Cameron. It's now 1.3 seconds.
There is John Mcginnis now riding as hard as ever.
Here's Cameron now crosses the line as we start the stopwatch. Here comes Anstey now, crosses the line. I think it's Anstey. I think it's Anstey who's done it. It's another victory for the amazing enigma from New Zealand. Bruce Anstey, less than a second over the Australian Cameron Donald.
I thought the more I came here, the probably easier it would get, the more comfortable I become with the track, but I found it's just getting harder each year, to be honest, just the stress of trying to ride this place fast and the commitment that takes.
While Bruce Anstey beats Cameron by the narrowest of margins, John has to settle for fourth.
That must be a hard one to take, you know. I mean, 0.7 is probably the length of a motorbike, so an over 150 odd miles of racing around here, you put your heart and soul into it and lose by a bike length, it must be pretty soul destroying.
Of a second, Cameron holds his head in his hands.
I just knew that there was nothing in it and I had to go, but yeah, we're just happy to get home and finish second.
We just wasn't to be, you know. You've just got to be absolutely bang on your money at the start, and if you're a little bit lazy at the start, you get your trousers pulled down and you can never ever pull it back. So 8 seconds off the podium on a little 600, I'll take that, you know.
To escape the media attention and constant requests for autographs, John seeks sanctuary in his motorhome with Becky and the kids.
Have you actually spoken to somebody about a book that's been done?
A book?
Yeah, someone came and wanted you to sign it yesterday.
I haven't done a book.
No, you haven't. But there's a book. Everything that I read was just totally wrong. We were jumping buses in 1973. I was like, oh, it was only one.
They're a great leveller, you know. It's you can have ups, you can have downs, you can, you know, anything can happen, and they're still the same. You know, they're still just like amazing. Doesn't care if I win or lose or whatever. But nice faces to see if you've had a bad day. You know, great if you've had a good day. You know, always take them onto the podium if I can. 96 I came here and came across, nowhere to stop, 200 quid in my pocket. We just did it on a bit of a wing and a prayer, really. I'd had some good friends as well, Lee Pullen, Mick Lofthouse, one thing another, Ian Locker, a few other guys that I knew, and I sponged off them, you know, just got the information, where do I need to be, what do I need to do, I remember it being a real red hot day in the front of my truck, and I laid across the 3 seats at the front and lighted the window down. Mick Lofthouse come out in the morning, bucket of water straight off my head, woke me up. And I was like, phew. And anyway, so Eileen said you can come in for a bit of breakfast. I went into Eileen's and we were on the Mourneville, bit of breakfast, and got chatting with her and stuff. She said, oh, you know, just share the room with Mick, or whatever. So me and Mick stopped there for nothing. And she sponsored me up a bit on Mourneville on the side of the bike. And, you know, unfortunately on the Friday of practice, Mick Lofthouse got killed. I don't know what happened, sunlight dazzled him or something, but one of my inspirations and one of my close friends in practice was killed, you know. So if there was ever a time to get out, it was time to get out then, I suppose. But I got over that and moved on and just carried on, and that was the start of my TT career.
Watching John Mcginnis inch perfect every time. They say if you put a penny down, he'd run over it every lap. And of course, the smoother you are, the less likely you are to go hitting walls and trees and things that are going to be pretty terminal.
I just think John Mcginnis is one of the best riders ever rode around the Isle of Man. I think he's #1.
The man is the master at this moment in time, and long may he reign.
We always joke actually that John's got 70 seconds in every 60. You know, he seems to see things so much further ahead.
Nobody takes a better race line, a more consistent race line, lap after lap, race after race. It's an amazing thing he does. He's just got a little bit more processing power up here than most, I think.
From day one watching John around here, he doesn't look any different. He rides immaculate, he's smooth. I've never seen him go wide, I've never seen him have a big moment. He's a very, very intelligent rider, and he plays that down in all his interviews and plays the big dumb daft lad, and he's far from it.
This place is so funny. Ultimately it takes experience, time and knowledge to become John Mcginnis. You can't just do it overnight.
I don't do it for the danger side of it. I hear Guy Martin, oh, it's a buzz, and blah, 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 but I don't want to be risking anything, you know, I want to be safe. But,
so what is the buzzing? So it's interesting you say that, you know. And
it's the winning, isn't it? It's the winning.
Keep calling him the Godfather, the TT Godfather, and it's just, if he doesn't win, it's sort of like what went wrong, you know, so I'm glad I don't have that pressure.
Coming up in part 2, can John score win number 19? And we meet the man behind the Morecambe missile.
It's a credit to him that he's achieved what he has with an old man like me giving it that.
Race fans travel to the Isle of Man to see their heroes in action, and no one gets more attention than a modest man from Morecambe.
Thank you very much.
John Mcginnis, the second most successful rider in TT history, has devoted his life to riding motorcycles, and he's never happier than when he's in his levers, even if sometimes they're of questionable taste.
I am a fat Flash Gordon.
Nothing else in my life at all. It was just bikes, bikes, bikes all the way. So right from being 3 years old, there was nothing else. And to be honest, I'm 40 years old now. There's still nothing else, you know. Can't watch football, can't watch tennis, can't watch anything. It's all let's just go an engine in it. What my dad was, he was a typical schoolboy motocross dad, you know. He was pretty hard work, to be honest. My dad's left me from a couple of meetings that, you know, I couldn't drive. I was only 14, 15 or whatever, and my dad obviously had to drive the van there, and race one I'd finished down the field, and he just said, that's rubbish, I'm not watching that, and then put the bike in the van and go home, and I'd just be stood there in my gear and have to get a lift home with somebody, you know.
I suppose I was a little bit tough on him at that time, you know. In a way, I was trying to get John to become a professional racer, in a way, you know. That's the only thing I ever wanted to be. It was a professional bike racer. I mean, and obviously there's thousands of us that don't make it, you know. That there are a few like John that actually come through.
Early on in the week, you know, he told me to watch it under the trees, you know. I'm like, well, OK, Dad, yeah, OK. You know, have you got your gear in right? Yes, Dad, I've got it right, yeah. Stuff like, he's got no idea what's actually going on the track, but he asked me if I've got everything right, so I'm just like, yeah.
John used to come over with his road bike, with Becky, and he said, oh, I'd love to do a TT, Dad, you know, I'd love to do it.
He still thinks he's a racer as well, you know. He goes out on his road bike, on his old Shanker flipping bandit thing, and he's flying around, oh, you know, I went up inside of him here, and I passed somebody around there. I'm like, Dad, just take it easy with it. You're getting old, you're a granddad now. So, but he's still got that racing bug in him.
It's a credit to him, it really is, even though I say it myself, that he's achieved what he has with an old man like me giving it that.
The next battle is the Superstock Race. The bikes are near road legal, and it's the one TT John has never won.
Just checking, I've got a left and a right glove this time. So.
Just having a look at that, yeah, a red and a blue one, you should have gone with that. Never won this race, I mean, that's one thing you'd like to do, isn't it? The Superstock Blade's up to the job, isn't it?
Could be a real close one, it could go either way, but I'll be trying as hard as I can to win it.
So this is the Superstock TT, 4 laps of the mountain course, 150.92 miles, 242.8 kilometres. But once again, the Superstock race being decided as the shadows lengthen on a lovely evening here in Douglas, the capital of the Isle of Man. Last few seconds then, we're about to go racing. Stand by, the flag waves, we are racing. There goes Mcginnis. The maestro of the mountain is heading in your direction. The long and winding road for John Mcginnis, but he knows the way. Away under the footbridge he goes, and the second machine moves off the line now. It is the number 2 with Ryan Farquhar on the KMR Kawasaki.
John Mcginnis is here, through the sunshine, into the shade, back out into the sunshine, as quick as ever.
And here is the man on the move in the race, number 9, Michael Dunlop.
Here's Cameron Donald.
Nothing of a second from John Mcginnis, 0.009 of a second.
So this race, as we thought, completely unpredictable, but here's Mcginnis. And what a fantastic ambassador for road racing Cameron Donald is. Second in both races so far, but not a hint of jealousy, just complete respect towards the winners of each race in the through there, and Mcginnis has retaken the lead. John Mcginnis has retaken the lead from the Lord Governors, and we look up towards Glen Crutchery Road, and there is John Mcginnis as the checkered flag waves, and Mcginnis is a winner yet again here around the mountain course, and once again there's applause all round the island capital as Mcginnis takes his 19th victory.
Absolutely brilliant, mate. Another 19. God almighty. It's unbelievable, mate, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't know when this boy's going to stop.
I always get to the Superstock race and I'm a bit, I won't say negative, but just a little bit behind the ball on it. And I don't know why. I was number 1, I looked down the road, I thought, well, you know, you're never going to get a better chance to win it. You're riding the best you've ever been. Bike's working real good, and let's go.
It's stunning, you know, I mean, we're just dumbstruck. It just keeps happening.
I feel like I'm on real early going to the mountain. I thought, well, I'm not getting back. Spluttered a little bit for the last couple of miles, and then spluttered into the pits. And I said to the boys, I said, let it just spew out of the tanks. I got a bit of fuel around my testicles as well on the pit stops. But I wasn't bothered, so just make sure it's full.
He was second in this race last year, one step further this year. The step from second to first is always the hardest, but John Mcginnis makes it look so straightforward.
I've never held so much champagne in my life. Let's hope it continues. Cheers.
Behind every successful rider, there's a dedicated team of mechanics, and John is no exception.
You need people who want to be here, who are passionate about it, who want to work for you, want to stand in your corner. You know, they realise, understand the dangers of it all, and you know, you've got to try and balance it all. You know, my mechanics are the same ones I've been with for a long time, and they actually love it. You know, they love being here, and that helps. And I can see it, I can feel it as a rider. You know.
A scheduling clash means John loses his favourite mechanics as the team have to honour their commitment to an endurance race in Doha.
Well, we've got an endurance race this weekend, an 8-hour in Qatar. But, personally, I'd rather be staying here in the Isle of Man.
We arrived there probably about 3 o'clock in the morning, and then we're out at 10. So no sleep, working on a bike we haven't worked on for 2 weeks, which is completely different to this one. With 3 new riders, 2 of them's never been to the circuit before. So yeah, I think we'll have our work cut out. To be honest, it's going to be hard work, but hopefully we get through it and have another good meeting as well. And these boys that take over from us, they have a good one here.
They didn't want to go to Qatar, for sure. You know, they prepared the bikes and they had to hand it over to like separate mechanics, but World Endurance have got 5 races in the year. The TT's never changed its dates since 1907, so they stick the World Endurance race at the end of the week, which is really frustrating, but you know, it's they're my friends as well. You know, they're not just mechanics and engineers, they're my mates, you know.
In Doha, a stand-in team grabs a 3rd place, scoring valuable championship points. Meanwhile, back at the TT, the Bike Fest continues with the 2nd Supersport race.
So here we go, and it's Cameron who leads on the road, then it's Farquhar, then it's Mcginnis, all close together, fantastic spectacle. So Michael Dunlop it is then who leads with Cameron Donald second. It's looking exciting, Cameron Donald is catching Michael Dunlop, so at the moment it is Cameron who is making the move. Who will have the staying power to see it right the way through? And Michael Dunlop crosses the line.
While John finishes 5th, Cameron is 2nd for the 3rd time this week.
It was always going to be a tough one, and Michael was always going to be the man to beat. A great result. Very happy, very happy. He's never one to frown about 2nd, not at the TT.
You know, after this morning I didn't know if we'd race at all, and we got to race in beautiful sunshine, so what an awesome TT.
Cameron, legend. Yeah, I like Cameron. He's got to go. He's finishing here and going straight back to Australia. I'm thinking you have to go back to work. He's got to go back to Australia and go back plumbing. Yeah, fair play. Fair play.
Cameron following up the stairs.
What did you have for breakfast this morning?
I haven't had anything for breakfast at the moment. I've had a cup of tea. I've only just got out of my bed.
He said he has grass, so...
Should we do it in the dry so they don't get wet? Sorry, you'll have to get wet.
It's the final day, and the storm clouds are rolling in, putting in doubt the last and most famous race of the week, the Senior TT.
Just the weather's come in and mist. It was sort of forecast as well. That's the Isle of Man for you. You know, yesterday everybody was baking and burnt to death. Now we're in the cloud. It has its own little microclimate, this place.
Does anyone really know the weather in the Isle of Man? I don't know.
Attention paddock, a further update on the current situation.
Senior TT has never been cancelled in 107, 108 years of a TT. Everybody's done it. It's disappointing for the spectators, the riders, the teams, and obviously the series itself, because the Senior TT is probably the most famous TT race of all.
Disappointing for everybody, but you know, tomorrow we'll all be over it and look forward to next year.
Having left hospital, Simon is recuperating in his motorhome.
The main thing to do is just focus on getting this body sorted. It's like 6 to 8 week fractures. So being ready in 6 to 8 weeks with the hyperbaric, with the physio and everything is achievable. It's a facility to get rid of the pain as soon as possible. You know, we're all impatient, especially bike racers. You just want to get back to doing stupid things so you can mess yourself up again.
Next time on TT Legends, the team travels 6,000 miles to the land of the rising sun for the Suzuka 8 Hour. It won't be an easy ride.
Certainly charcoaled it.